What's the word, class? It's your boy Malito the Drill Professor, and I'm bringing another banger for y'all today. In today's lecture video, we're gonna be sampling scary game soundtracks and scary movie soundtrack into the craziest dark jersey type samples ever. And since I know my classroom is composed of hands-on students and y'all want to get y'all hands dirty, I want to get some action in the field, what I'm gonna be doing is all the samples from this video, I'm gonna be making them available in the Google Drive link that you guys can download. With these samples, you can enter in the beat battle for the month of October. I'm gonna be taking all the submissions through my Discord server, so if you're not in there, you can visit the link in the description, and then you can throw the beats that you made with these samples inside the sample pack. You can mention me and then mention that this is your submission for the Halloween beat battle. Now there's only one rule, and that's that you can only use one sample max inside the whole beat. So for instance, you can't use a second sample as like a counter melody or something, but you can make your own using your own instruments. That's perfectly fine. This video is going to be covering some Slicex tips, some sample effects tips, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how I usually sample stuff and make loops and package them up. So make sure you guys stay tuned for some hidden gems in this video. And without further ado, let's get into it. The first soundtrack that I want to visit is from Saw 3. So this movie came out about 2 years ago. So basically what I do is I'll look up the soundtrack on YouTube and I'll kind of just like really just skim through the playlist and see if there's any instruments that I like that I could probably put in Slicex and make sound tough. Now, if something doesn't come to you instantly, don't feel bad, because usually when you hear a sample, you'll be like, all right, I already know that this can be sampled. I already know what I can do with this. And there's a billion soundtracks in this playlist, man. It's like, what, 54 different songs to choose from? Yeah, man. When you're sampling stuff online, don't even stress that you're not finding anything right away, because it might take a little bit of scrubbing for you to find something that really sparks that creativity. So let's keep it moving. Now, I really love using horror movie soundtracks, man. They've always got the best ambient sounds and the most creepy sounding stuff. Ooh, I like this one. All right, so whenever you find a sample that you think you like or a section that you want to use, you're just going to put that into an emailer that's going to email the composer of the music video here to send you the MP3 on a license. You know what I'm saying? Very legal download. That's all you guys are going to do. And then once you get that download, you can just pop it into FL Studio and we can get started. Now, here's where the magic happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the sample into the playlist and we are going to double click it, go over to the sound, and then we're going to right click this little audio clip section right here, and we're going to click open in new Slicex channel. And what that's going to do is it's going to take a long time to open Slicex. I don't know, man, my computer's on hots right now, but anyway, that's besides the point. So it's going to open up a little Slicex channel, and then what we can do is before we even start putting down our slices, we can look and see which section we want to sample. Now I think it's around here, so what we can do is just, you can left click and you can drag to find a specific section inside the track that you actually want. Yeah, so I wanted it to be around right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna left click and drag to get my end point, or to get my starting point, and then for my end point I can kind of just drag it in a little bit as well. It'll just make your Slicex perform a little faster because you're only working with the parts that you want. So when you have that highlighted, you're gonna press Control Delete on your computer, or Command Delete if you're on Mac. It'll delete every section except the highlighted part. So now only the highlighted part is going to get put in Slicex. So what we can actually do is do that just a little bit more, just so we can have it start exactly where the section that we want starts. Do another Control Delete there, and you should have everything. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the slice right here. I'm going to right click it. We're going to select large grid slicing. And what this is going to do is it's going to break it up in easy sampleable parts for us. But before we do start, if you guys know about the clicking in Slicex and the clicking in the sampler and stuff like that, what you're going to do is you're going to Control A to highlight all the stuff inside the sample. Move over here to the wrench, and then you're going to do D-click in all regions. Then you're going to hit the wrench again and do D-click out all regions. So once you do that, the clicking noises should be gone. All right, now we have our Slicex set up, so we're going to move over to pattern 1. And as you can see, we've got our slices here. Now they look to be a bit off beat. We might have to end up like tweaking with the slices just a little bit, but we're just going to go and do a test run and see how it sounds. So I know I want to start on this. So we're going to make each of our little hits, they're going to be about like 1/4 of a bar long. Or we can even do a 1/2 a bar as well. Like even when we just did that, we just laid down 4 random markers and it already sounds pretty good. We're gonna move this tempo up to about 140 and then we're gonna see how this sounds. I kind of like how this is sounding already. So I'm not really digging this section, this second section. I kind of like this. So we're just gonna make that loop for 8 bars. We're gonna move it over here, and then you're gonna use this left pane. You're gonna click on the picker for patterns, right here. It looks like a little piano. Right click it, and you're gonna hit quick render as audio clip. And then what it will do is it'll just render the audio clip and give you this. So you've got basically a loop that's in format, ready for you to add effects to it and do whatever you want. So what I recommend, putting this in track 1 and just moving it to stretch, and you're gonna move over to insert 1, and then you can put some effects on it. I usually like to start with reverb. Did I just say reverb? It's too early for this, man. I usually like to start with reverb, just kind of put the wet knob up, dry knob down a little bit, make this kind of wide. Also, if you have halftime, I would strongly recommend, 1, getting it if you don't, and putting halftime on it just to see what it sounds like. And then you know that you made your slice bars a half a bar long, so you're gonna move to halftime and you're gonna move it to half a bar, so each one of those little notes is getting played. Now, I don't know if you guys hear this starting part right here, but this sounds really good. So in the case that something sounds really good in halftime and you want to maybe switch it over, what I would recommend you doing is you move the halftime onto the actual slicer itself and you try and cook up something there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move our Slicex to halftime, and it's going to play the half a bar. I want to make this like a little section for the verse. This sounds really nice. So we can even use this as variation. Like I said, man, the possibilities are endless when you're using Slicex. You just play things by ear. So what I can do is I'm going to take off the halftime here. And then for the verse, we can do this. All right, and we've got our loops. So the next step before we package and send these out is you got to be a gentleman by finding the key. So just grab any Spins 808. It's this easy, y'all. It's this easy, right? If you know how to find keys by ear, grab a Spins 808 and find the key and put it inside the loop title before you send it out. It's a big help to producers, bro. Or alternatively, if you don't know how to find the keys of stuff, you can literally just put it in the mixer track and get a plugin like Auto Key or something like that, and it'll just tell you the key. Or you can put it in TuneBat at too. But I recommend if you're a producer, you learn how to get an ear for the key of 808s. It's not that hard. So you're just gonna make the regular Jersey 808 pattern, and this will also get you a good feel for how this loop would sound with drums on it. So it sounded like this is D sharp minor. So we can just move them down to D5. And then we can also play around with an EQ. Like I said, you're gonna want to take this off. You're gonna want to take this off before you package out and send out the loop, because, like, to be honest, bro, you want to keep the effects very minimal, just to make sure that the actual person making the drums has a lot of freedom. Put a soft clipper on this real quick. Come in. Damn. So we already know that this is gonna be fire. So what we can do before we package and send this out, take off this EQ real quick, and then we can highlight these 2 parts right here, go over to File, click Export, and export it as an MP3. So I'm gonna go back to the actual name of this sample. So the name of this sample is actually called Smashfoot. So I'm gonna call it Smashfoot just so I know, you know, what to go back. But to be honest, bro, Smashfoot is kind of like it's really a bad name. So I could just title it Jigsaw, and then you can just put 140 BPM, and then the key, which is D D sharp minor, and then your producer name. So what we're gonna do from here for the rest of the video is we're gonna look for the other 2 samples. I'm gonna keep the slicing process pretty quick. I'll probably speed it up so you guys can still see it, but I'm not gonna explain it because I just did. If you guys are still not understanding how to sample stuff in Slicex and make different parts, just leave a comment down in the description and I'll make additional videos on my Instagram story, or I can give you some personal explanation if you guys need that. Always save the FLPs of your actual loops as well. It's very good to go back and have, just in case a co-producer wants to see something else with the loop or get some arrangement changes and things of that nature. But with that being said, let's move on to the next sample. So for this one, I'm gonna do Outlast 2. Oh yeah, another tip about these is you can sometimes go inside of the comment section and find timestamps that people kind of like, and you can just go over there. So I'm gonna go to 126. Now, the interesting thing about like chase music is it's just too busy, man. Most of the time it's too busy. I like that little scream right there. That scream is nice. I might be able to use that. I ain't gonna lie, this sample is definitely a flop. I tried, but we're gonna keep going with another one. Don't get attached. Don't ever get attached to these samples, bro. They're very replaceable. I might have found something else in this one. Let's see. This one's 8 minutes long though, so it might destroy my hard drive. Destroyer Part 2? Hold on. Alright, and this is the second loop that I got from the Outlast soundtrack. So we're gonna package that up and then we'll move on to the next sample. All right, and the very last soundtrack that we're gonna be analyzing today is gonna be the soundtrack from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the modern one that just came out on Netflix. I usually like to go for the more modern, newer Halloween movies and games because the sounds just tend to be way more high quality. Oh my goodness. Literally the first soundtrack in this entire playlist is something that we can use. I did not even hear that part. This sample is about to be insane. I'm already liking this. All right, and that's the sample. I'm telling y'all, if you're gonna use this, I suggest you throw some gross beat on it. Go over here, gross beat, do turntablist, and then do this one. This one would sound crazy. Damn, this one's crazy, bro. All right, let me find the key and then we can package this up and send it. So so we figured out the key. It's going to be C minor. So we're going to export this, and that's going to be the last sample for the Halloween sample pack beat battle challenge. All right, guys, and that's going to wrap it up for the sample cookup. I hope you guys found these Slicex tips useful, and I need you to go crazy on these loops. Remember, it's money on the line. Now, if you guys look in the description, you'll find the Discord link that you can join to submit the beats, and as well as the Drive link that you guys can take to actually cook up and get these samples. My beat tag's also going to be in there. Make sure you stretch it to 6 bars before you put my beat tag on there. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. It's going to be this tag, bring it to the beginning, and you're going to make sure this is on stretch, and you're going to stretch it out to exactly 6 bars, and then you'll place it wherever you want to place it. Once you guys have done that and you've cooked up your heat, just send that in the feedback channel, mention me, and then do this as my submission for the Halloween beat battle. Everybody gets up to 1 submission, so make sure you play with all 3 samples first to find out which sounds the best to you and what you can make the best. I hope you guys enjoyed this little lecture on how to sample anything off YouTube into a dark jersey loop for Sdot Go and the sweeps. Make sure you guys tap in with me on Instagram and all my other social medias and stuff like that below. All Halloween, we on the dark jersey Halloween spooky move, so make sure you guys are tuning in every week to the new videos that I'm going to be dropping this month. And with that being said, class is dismissed.